State your name and address, and please keep comments to 5 minutes. And I'll take them as they're on my stack here. So the first one signed in is Mr. John Nelson.
City Council take a vote on the renaming of the bridge, and I know that there's been some opposition to the renaming of the bridge, and someone said it's about 2% of the 26,000, but I have a short statement that I would like to read. January 20th, 2014, the Barberton NAACP honored the memory and legacy of the late Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial Service, which paid tribute to the memory commemorating his life and legacy. Nearly 44 years after his death, America has seen some progress in equality with the first African-American president, the first Hispanic Supreme Court justice, the first African-American Attorney General. Education opportunities have increased, and workplace and political leadership are more diverse. But when we consider the facts, it's very clear that we still have a long way to go in the disparities in incarnation, economic empowerment, and adequate health care. The Barberton NAACP has been working for change in the city of Barberton for more than 43 years. As a long admirer and outstanding civil rights worker that Dr. Martin Luther King was, who better to recognize the sacrifices of a fallen civil rights leader, made for a more grateful nation than the community from which we all serve, by honoring a man who was struck down by an assassin's bullet nearly 45 years ago. The Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King should be honored by renaming the bridge after him. As president of the branch of the NAACP Unit 3213 in the city of Barberton, I am requesting that council pass the legislation in an effort regarding the name of the Robson Avenue Bridge in honor of the late Dr. Martin Luther King, as the only landmark in the city of Barberton to be named in honor of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. Naming the bridge connecting the east side of town to downtown, connecting Robson Avenue to Rooster Road, west and north. In neighboring cities, we have Ohio 59 running from downtown Akron to the inner belt. Also Ohio 59 is named Martin Luther King Boulevard. We have countries like Israel, Italy, you can have a street named after them in France. Cincinnati, Dayton, and the list goes on. I think it's over 700 in something cities that have names for Dr. Martin Luther King. And we started this project, we started talking in October of last year with the street department. And I think all the councilmen know that we started talking about a street, and then the city, the representatives of the city decided that they wanted to change it to a bridge. So we decided to take the route of least resistance. And I don't think it was, it didn't take the path of least resistance, but that is the democratic way. I am a former Marine, and when we pledge allegiance to the flag. So we're wrapped up in the Constitution. And I think City Council needs to take a stand on this vote and do what's right for all the citizens of Barberton. Not just some, but for all. Be inclusive in what you do. because our kids, they're watching us. We make the decisions now, but they're going to make the decisions in the future. So with that, I say thank you.
Our city has had 3 previous viaducts on Tuscaroras, which all were nameless. The Robinson Avenue Bridge should also remain nameless. Why named after 9 years? Historically, South Barberton was the first African-American settlement. Please consider a granite stone with bronze plaque placed at Trailhead at Snyder Avenue. This would be an appropriate tribute to Dr. King. Many good people and friends came from the South End. I'm certain they and our oldest remaining seniors, who may have lived through turbulent years, would be honored with this special commemoration. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Adrienne Nelson. My address is 1252 Andrews Avenue, Akron, Ohio, 44301. I am the current secretary of Barberton NAACP. And I would like to quote something that I've lived by that Dr. King has said so often before he was assassinated. In order for evil to exist, good men have to do nothing.
Hello, my name is Shorter Griffin. I live at 225 Stanley Avenue here in town. Martin Luther King Jr. has many streets, bridges, avenues named after his honor from coast to coast and even in foreign countries. The naming of the bridge after Dr. Martin Luther King would not add to or detract from his legacy. There is a petition going around for not naming the bridge after him for people that oppose. I respect their voice, their opinion, and I will fight for their right to voice their opinion, just like I'm voicing my opinion. The battle, the war is not lost by losing one battle. Like Mr. Nelson said, he was Marine, I was U.S. Army. This is something that continues. I'm asking that the naming of the bridge be dropped. The request. We have a serious drug problem in this town. We have housing problems. We have job issues. My concern is for the living, for our children, and for how we can improve our life today. Naming the bridge, which is made out of concrete and stone, after Dr. Martin Luther King, to me, it doesn't matter. His legacy would be to help people improve relationships, job opportunities, things of that nature. And we got churches in our neighborhood up the street from me. There's evidence of drug use in the mornings in the parking lots. There's people up there at night, all hours of the night. These issues are more important to me. I'm not speaking for any other group or representative. I'm speaking for myself as an individual taxpayer of Barberton. And I request, I would appreciate it, if the naming of the bridge after Dr. Luther King, Martin Luther King, be shelved, and just try to improve our relationship as a city. Try to bridge gaps for us, wages, inequality. That's more important to me. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Sandra Gatto. I live at 552 East Ford Avenue here in Barberton. I'm here to speak for the Citizens Against Renaming the Bridge. Listening to Mr. Nelson speak, when I first heard about them renaming the bridge, or naming the bridge, which I guess it's never been named, I did a little research, and like Mr. Nelson said, there are several streets throughout the country, several different place is named after Dr. Martin Luther King, and this is taking nothing away from him because we're all well aware of all the accomplishments that he did while he was alive and even through his death. But when I read that, I thought, surely to goodness, there are people in Barberton, in our little town of 28,000 people, that we would be able to find someone to represent our own little town. And in doing some research, I researched the only policeman in Barberton who had been killed during the line of service, and the only fireman who had died in the line of service, which was several years ago. I think back in 1948 was the first one. So I thought, I wonder how many people feel the same way that I do. So I started a petition. Steve Despot was here last week and presented like almost 400 names that had been signed on the petition. And so I came again this week to present another 216 names. And, great, thank you. And all I want to say is that in no disrespect to Dr. Martin Luther King, I think that it would do us well as our own little town to if we name the bridge at all, like as this gentleman said, we don't even have to name the bridge. Tuscarawas Bridge was never named. We always called it the viaduct. So if we're going to name the bridge, I would like to see it named after someone in Barberton who deserves that honor, because Martin Luther King has several, throughout the country, several different things named after him. So, I thank you.
Third readings.
Resolution number 85, 2014 has been withdrawn.
Very well.